now. Give me some more like you now. You wanna ride in the six, you wanna dine in the six. You wanna leave with a kiss. You said I'll probably send you some dicks. And I'm like, hell no, I'm waiting too long. Hell no, I want that cool love. Hell no, I'm waiting too long. Hell no, I want that cool love. I even my
3 minutes. 3 minutes to the finals. The big poppers are out for Pound Town. Ladies and gentlemen, here in Hermosa Beach and at home, I see you. Let's get on our feet, shall we, for the singing of our national anthem. Performed today, you might recognize her from Tyler Perry stage plays. This is Stephanie Ferret.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red
talk on the mic after that. Wow, Stephanie Farrer, ladies and gentlemen, give her a round of applause. Make sure to follow her on social media. Stephanie, incredible. And I'm just getting in my ear that we're about 10 minutes away.
The AVP is home, back in the South Bay, Hermosa Beach. After a short hiatus, the best in the beach will battle it out in front of these incredible fans. Ken Steffes, Karch Karai, Phil Dahlhauser, Misty May, Carrie Walsh, April Ross, all of the best have won here. A win here is every baller's dream. Who will reign supreme in the deep sand of Hermosa? Find out next. Welcome to the South Bay, Hermosa Beach Pier to be exact. The AVP is back in action, the third event of the 2022 AVP season. Hello and welcome inside the booth. I'm Dane Blanton alongside Cameron Irwin and some of the most knowledgeable fans, and so fiery they have come to play. After this long hiatus, they are fired up to see some of the best in the world battle it out. How good does it feel to be back in Hermosa?
Oh man, the last time we were here in Hermosa Beach was back in 2019. It's been a short hiatus, but it is so good to have your toes in the sands here. The deep sand of Hermosa Beach makes for a great playing style. We have seen electric volleyball from the start near the finish now as we get into this women's final.
Absolutely. It is the #1 and #2 seed going up against one another. Let's first talk about the #2 seed, Betsy Flint and her partner, Kelly Cheng.
This team is deadly. They have a 12-1 match record like you see there, and what I've loved, they're unbeaten on the weekend. They've battled match after match, 3-set match after 3-set match. They have stayed so steady. You have to watch out for Kelly Cheng. They love the option play, going on two. You've got to pay attention at all times on defense. But the good news, the other side of the net, well, there's a lot of defensive play from the #1 seed, Cannon and Sponcil. The Olympian, Sarah Sponcil, facing off against her former partner in Kelly Cheng. They were in the Olympics just a little while ago. So now she's partnered up alongside Therese Cannon, playing in her very first final.
Let's take a look at this tournament recap. The top 2 seeds reach the final undefeated. 3-set matches this weekend. This has been really a fantastic tournament. So happy to have the 1 versus 2 seeds going at it in the final. Let's head down to the sand for the introduction of the players, and that's Mark Sherman.
Oh my goodness, let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. We are back at the home of beach volleyball, and it is feeling real good here on Stadium Court. Y'all ready for this? Oh, so am I, and so is this first team. You know what? They won the title in New Orleans against all odds. They had the crowd rooting against them, going against the hometown crowd. But you know what? You're feeling right at home, aren't you, Betsy? This young player won in 2019 right here in Hermosa Beach, the last time we were here, and she is ready to do it again. Out of South Dakota, ladies and gentlemen, let me hear it for Betsy Flint. Her partner, oh, she is so good, isn't she? At the net, she might go on 2, she might crush it, she might just do the little pokey thing, and she knows where you are. She knows where you are, and she puts it where you aren't. But we are all right here in Hermosa Beach for this young lady. Let me hear it for Kelly Cheng. Their opponents coming in as the #1 seed, and this first player, oh, absolutely clutch. She gets 4 points scored against her in the semifinal, and then she absolutely stuffs the ball back down on the line to take back control, and you are in your very first final because of it. Let me hear it for Therese Cannon. When she gets locked in, she is unstoppable all over. Look at that face. Don't smile, Sarah. Don't do it. You're locked. All right, well, I promise she's locked in. She comes out of Phoenix, Arizona. She's got quite a crew with her this weekend as well. And now a resident of sunny Hermosa Beach, California. Let me hear it out of UCLA, Sarah Sponcil.
We are all set and ready to go here on center court. The women's final, Hermosa Beach 2022. Dane Bland alongside Cameron Irwin. To your left will be Kelly Cheng and Betsy Flint. And to your right, Sarah Sponcil and Therese Cannon.
First ball blocked back by Therese Cannon, and that's what they're going to need a lot of. Some deadly play up at the net, paying attention to not only the attack, but also the option play between Cheng and Flint, who are looking to go back-to-back in terms of titles won on this 2022 season, having taken the 2022 New Orleans Open Championship in the final over Taryn Cloth and Kristen Nuss.
Yeah, a little confusion right there by Kelly Clays, and that's what it's going to take. You're going to have to pass, stay in system, and Sarah Sponcil knows how to hit her spots as a server. A little too tight. Poke shot is scooped up by Sponcil, and she puts that ball away. Sarah Sponcil, a two-time national champion for the UCLA Bruins. She is everywhere on the court. Expect her to make some unbelievable plays, and what's most important about her is she's able to convert, to put that ball away after she's made that spectacular defense.
And that is some heavy heat. Not able to make the play there is Sarah Sponcil, but you're going to see a lot of that from Kelly Cheng. Not only does she option, but one of her favorite swings is exactly this. Get outside, swing heavy angle. And there's a ton of pace there.
Betsy Flint into the top of the net right there. They had a barn burner in the semifinals going up against Gina Urango and Julia Scholes. That went into overtime in the third set.
Therese Cannon doing a nice job finding some of those spots in the deep court.
Great short shot right there. A little trouble right there. That's a sign of an elite team. When they pass the ball about 25 feet off, they don't panic. They stay as much in system as they can and keep their composure and put it away. 4-2, Cannon and Sponcil. Great dig by Flint. Can't put it away just yet. Therese Cannon, soft block controls. We go back and forth. And a jump attack by Sponcil is successful. Don't know if I've seen that before.
I mean, we've seen the jump bump. How about the jump spike from Sarah Sponcil? Her platform just turned upside down. Are you kidding me? Only Sarah Sponcil. Really?
I don't know where she comes up with that creativity, but it works there. It's so hard to not take that overhand, right? Instead, waiting for the bump, but mesmerizing to say the least. There's another pass off the net by Cheng. And a beautiful finesse roll shot by Cheng to the corner.
Yeah, these two work so well, so complementary to one another. This is a heads-up play from Kelly Cheng. Nice set, slightly inside. You see the slide footwork a little bit there, going off one foot. And so fun to see these two partner to get up against one another. Some different personalities that go really well together. Some big-time plays from Kelly Cheng like that. She's fiery, she's emotional, she's rocking the double braids as well. And then you've got Betsy Flint. She's steady, composed, surgical in her approach to the game. They really feed off of each other.
Roll shot right there. You're going to see a lot of back and forth. Tell us a little about the history of Kelly Cheng and Sarah Sponcil. They were in the Olympics in Tokyo, but then things kind of soured after that, and now they're on opposite sides of the net.
Well, it was an incredible journey for the two of them to make the 2020 Olympics, right? It gets delayed a year longer, so now they're forced to train that extra year, gets them into that position to be able to compete. They had a nice turnout, but, you know, after a while, you kind of have to change things up a little bit, right? And both of them finding some new partnerships, very ecstatic on both sides of the net. Yeah, and you think there's a little fire, a little edge when they face off against one another? Without a doubt. I think you put any former partnership on opposing sides of the net and you're going to feel that angst, that energy, and that's what we love so much about when they face off against one another. They know each other's game. They know the scouting reports, the tendencies. It all comes to fruition when they're on the opposite side.
Yeah, it's always fun to watch former partners go at it because there's always a little bit more on the line. For sure, we've seen that a lot with Sarah Hughes and Kelly Cheng, who played their entire college career together at USC. And it's just, it's a lot of fun. It's just a little extra on it and a little more verbal sometimes through the net.
Jumbo poke, SCU. Let's take the switch, 8-6, maintaining their 1-2 point advantage early on, set number 1.
Welcome back to Hermosa Beach, California, the third stop on the AVP Tour. We're in the first set of the women's final. Dane Bland alongside Cameron Irwin and Therese Cannon and Sarah Sponcil up 8-6 early here over Cheng and Flint. Nice pass by Cheng. That set's too far off the net. It's going to give an opportunity to Sarah Sponcil. Flint with the dig. And Flint, now it's Sponcil's turn for a second opportunity, and this time she makes Flint pay in the backcourt. Beautiful hit.
You know, it's so fun to watch these defenders go head-to-head. Betsy Flint, like I mentioned, so surgical in her approach. She reads the game so well, as does Sarah Sponcil. So it's going to be all about the transition game for these two. We know they're going to get the touches. They're going to get those extended rallies. Who will be terminal in transition?
A roll shot. Therese Cannon controls it. Can't get it down. And then a stuff block by Therese Cannon. Big block up at the net. You know, Therese Cannon was a freshman in 2016. She was part of the 2016-2017 national championship teams at USC. Partners with Kelly Cheng. And so a lot of crossover here with these four athletes.
Oh, without a doubt. You include Betsy Flint, who is at LMU as well. So just a superior play coming out of the collegiate game. Making an early mark now on the AVP season. Like we mentioned, Cheng and Flint looking to go back-to-back for titles. Cannon and Sponcil looking for their first title, not only together, but their first title in general. Cannon new to the beach in just the last few years. You mentioned her time at USC, but Sponcil, she makes it to the Olympics as you look at their road to this final. Sponcil goes to the Olympics, and she's still trying to find that first AVP title. She spent so much time on the international circuit. As you see here, 4 straight wins through Hermosa Beach, 2-0, 2-1, 2-0, and 2-1 yet again, as they now face off against this tough duo, the number 2 seed. It's rare that you see the 1 and 2 going head-to-head in the final, and not to mention the fact that they're both undefeated getting here.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. On the other side for Cheng and Flint, they went undefeated as well. A lot of 3-setters, though. 3 out of their 4 wins went to the 3rd set. So a lot of close ones, a lot of close calls, but that sometimes toughens you up and gives you confidence when you get to this point in the final.
That's a great point. Battle tested for sure, and Therese Cannon continues to patrol the net. There has not been a single option play from Cheng and Flint that has fallen to the sand on the side of Cannon and Sponcil. That's making a statement. Therese
Cannon, her blocking technique has progressed tremendously over the years, coming into this tournament the number 1 seed with Sarah Sponcil. And Cannon and Sponcil dominating right now, doubling the score, 12-6.
Yeah, and I mean, to their credit, they're serving incredibly tough. You're seeing that pay off in terms of the block showing up. But Cheng and Flint have to steady out their pass and set game right now. We've seen a couple attacks from Cheng where she's coming off of 1 foot. That's kind of an indication in terms of balance. And again, a beautiful play. The scouting report on full display, executed perfectly by Therese Cannon.
Therese Cannon making huge moves really late. She waits. This is the Monster Hydro monster block of the day. Look at her footwork. Jumps into that angle at the last second, blocks it straight down. This time, Flint taking matters into her own hands, siding out right there. It's 13-7. Cannon and Sponcil have come out of the gate hot.
Yeah, I actually really like that option play at the hand of Betsy Flint. They're trying to alleviate some of the pressure that her partner's been seeing in the side out.
Oh, talk about finding the corner and knowing your court. Sarah Sponcil, just a wizard with her control.
What I love is Betsy Flint's reaction after this ball falls on the sideline. She just goes, yep, all right, if you can do that, good for you. That's just, see, look at her. All right, I'll give that to you. Try and hit that 10 times over.
So it's time for our technical timeout. Cannon and Sponcil up 14-7. Let's see if Cheng and Flint can get back in this.
We all know it's a good idea to recycle. But what happens to that aluminum can or all that paper after you put it in the recycling bin? Where does it go? What does it become in its second life? See how WM is always working for a sustainable tomorrow at WM.com/stories.
Get ready for a whole new wave of White Claw. New full flavor White Claw Surf. Sensational refreshment for a taste like no other.
Great cross court by Kelly Cheng, and you can see a little more emotion, trying to get a little more fire to get into this final.
Yeah, my goodness, back out of that technical timeout, coming with some fire and some fight on the side of Cheng and Flint.
Good set. Sponcil tooling the block of Cheng.
Yeah, just a little bit of the difference of timing there, right? That's a millisecond that Cheng is now dropping on her block instead of at the point of apex on her jump. Harder to make plays on that fall.
Here comes Cheng against Therese, and Therese just not allowing the ball to come across onto her side of the net. She is hungry, looking for that first AVP victory.
I just like the back-to-back block. Just so steady, so composed in those bang-bang plays. It's so hard to keep your head about you. You start to panic, maybe you jab at the ball, do some wild things, but Therese Cannon showing some composure.
Just out of bounds live.
Tough serve, just out of bounds, 16-10. Cannon and Sponcil with the lead. They've controlled this entire first set. Trying to get some momentum is Cheng. It'll be Sponcil. And she puts it away cross court. We talk about all the cross and history of all these four players, with Cheng being on the same team with Cannon. Many people don't know, but back in 2015, Sponcil and Flint played together at Loyola Marymount.
We're going back to the archives.
Yeah, so there's some crossover there, but the one thing to note is all four of these athletes have come through the collegiate beach system. LMU for Betsy, UCLA for Sponcil, USC for Kelly and Therese, and it's just really made the women's game that much more effective.
Now, without a doubt, now playing in this final. And Therese Cannon still continues the wrath that she's showing, whether it's the block play or the offensive play up at the net. At some point, you got to figure out some other ways to approach this team of Cannon and Sponcil. Option play hasn't quite worked. They've been going at Kelly Cheng, limiting that opportunity, forcing her to have to side out traditionally.
Here comes Sponcil. She goes right to Flint, and this set's a little tight, and Therese Cannon is going to get yet another block and move to 19-11. You know, Sarah Sponcil has been playing so well. She made it to the Olympics, but we forget she does not have an AVP championship just yet. So this would be the first for her as well.
That ball just out of bounds. But Therese Cannon still knows the scouting report very well, continuing to take away certain angles, and specifically the angle of Cheng herself.
Oh, almost a trickler by Kelly Cheng, but it comes up short. And just like that, we are at set point number 1 for Cannon and Sponcil here in this women's final. They'll go to Kelly Cheng, kind of a shank, and not a good passing set for Kelly Cheng right there. And she's going to try to put that set in her rear view mirror. 21-10, Cannon and Sponcil absolutely dominating here in Hermosa Beach. We'll be back.
Dear Mainland, aloha. My brother and I hear lots of you have discovered a real Hawaiian favorite. Big Wave Golden Ale. That's the good kind stuff, yeah, bro. Maybe it's the island flavor that makes each sip taste like a little vacation.
Got your beers here.
That's a whole lot of little vacations right there, huh, brother? That's like a big vacation. Retirement. One life, right? Mahalo. Big Wave Golden Ale from Kona Brewing.
Inside center court here at the Hermosa Beach Pier. Number 1 seed, Cannon and Sponcil winning first set 21-12. It's time for the Wilson Volleyball Play of the Day. Here it happened in the first set. The jump kill by Sarah Sponcil, innovating the game right here. Not going overhand, actually underhand, with a little downward trajectory even. I don't know how she pulled that off.
Watching it for the third time, it doesn't become any less impressive. It's like an overhead tomahawk backwards. I mean, we're still trying to find a nickname for this woman, let alone a name for that kind of shot. But those two stepping up big time in game number 1.
It's so fun to watch Sarah Sponcil. She's so athletic and she's so creative and really can do some things that you've never seen before. A little pep talk happening on the other side of the net. A little strategy between Betsy Flint and her partner Kelly Cheng. This is interesting, seeing the conversations, the communication. Sometimes you don't see a lot, but there was a lot to be discussed.
Yeah, and you know, I mentioned the camaraderie between both Cheng and Flint, and it's something that they have both talked to me about, how they like to steady one another out, the ebbs and flows of these partnerships on tour. They're getting challenged in very adverse situations, right? You're facing off against a former partner. It's the Hermosa Beach Open, your home sand, where you train day in and day out. One of the biggest positions you can be in this final. So all the emotions start to rise, right? But I loved what I saw there, the calming effect of Betsy Flint, having the conversation with Kelly Cheng, the positive energy you see out on the court right now. That's one of those games you just have to turn, take the big eraser and scratch out of your memory, because really it came down to some of the simple things for those two, the passing and the setting. Those things can be controlled. They have rep after rep, so much experience to lean into. So for those two, they've got to pay attention to that. And that will change some of those blocks that you see on the side of Cannon and Sponcil. When passing gets awry and you're out of system, those blocks and defense starts to become that much easier for the opposing side. So look for them to change the tide here and steady things out.
Here we go, set number 2. And right off the bat, Betsy Flint's gonna have an opportunity to score, but just a little bit off. Seems like they just have not gotten up to speed here in the final and kind of gotten in that groove to where we know that they can play.
You know, and one of the other things that we talk so much about in reference to this number 2 seed is their ability to run the option play, but that's been negated because they haven't been going to Flint in the side out. They've been going at Kelly Cheng like that right there. So not able to option is Cheng.
So you're saying it's up to Cheng. She's going to get the majority of the serves. That seems to be the game plan.
That was the game plan in the first set as well. They also, I like their defensive strategy against her too, taking away a lot of the angle with the block instead of the defense at times. That's where a lot of those blocks showed up.
Fishes it out of the net. Therese Cannon keeping it alive. Oh, and Sponcil there, but she got a little caught up and missed that shot right there.
But even there, I still like the defensive play. That's an even better play from Cheng because she sees the down defense into the angle, but she goes high and challenges that kind of jumbo area over the top of Sponcil's head.
Perfect pass this time by Sponcil. She goes high off the block. Sarah Sponcil.
Sponcil has really been showing her range as an attacker, I think, throughout this match. She's been taking some swings from about that 4 to 5 feet off, potentially even hitting some of those from 7 feet off and really adding pressure.
Oh, wow, Therese Cannon jumping into the angle at the last minute, just nowhere to go for Betsy Flint.
That looked like a Phil Dahlhauser block right there. The ball hit the sand before Betsy Flint's feet did. Try and say that 10 times fast.
That was definitely the block of the day so far. That one straight down, another tough pass, but a beauty of a set by Cheng. It's Sponcil again with the opportunity. But Flint has it, and she rips it cross court. What an angle with Sponcil waiting on it.
Hello, Betsy Flint. You gotta love the fact that she fended off that beautiful jumbo with the punch over the top of her head. Quick transition, and hey, hats off for the set there from Kelly Cheng. Getting a better rhythm now.
And that ball to the deep corner right there. Therese Cannon showing some finesse there, putting it in the deep corner as we take the turn. Cannon and Sponcil up by 1.
See the ball land just inside. Betsy Flint acknowledging it. So nice to have Betsy Flint back out on the sand. She took 2020 to have her first little girl. Miss Cora, she has been running around. I almost cried earlier when mom had to go warm up and daughter started to cry. She was so sad her mom was leaving her. I was like, if that is not the epitome of a great mom.
Yeah. Mom's got to go to work.
Mom's got to go to work.
Sarah Sponcil back to serve, leading 5-3. That ball into the top of the net. These two teams met just once before, and that was in Austin in the third round of the winners, and it was Cheng and Flint winning 21-16, 13-21, then 15-12 in the third, so that one very close. Flint have an opportunity here to score. Not yet. Sponcil holding. And a big power shot. You mentioned it, Cameron. Sarah Sponcil, known for her finesse, but she's got a lot of pop.
Yeah, without a doubt, one of the most dynamic on tour. I mean, just take a look at the dig and then the feet to transition into that swing. You can see her kind of landing with her balance backwards, and that's really indicative of how much pace she really put into that ball. So much so, it kind of forced her backwards.
Both teams exchanging service errors back and forth, trying to get an advantage. So important to serve the ball tough, try to get the opposition out of sync, out of system.
And see, now they're starting to go at Sarah Sponcil, forcing her to have the side out. She's doing a nice job. You saw Therese Cannon just unload, doing so solid in set number 1. So, hey, if it's not working, try something else.
Jump float serve down the middle. Flint takes it. She'll take a look, and just too good. Sponcil knows it.
Yeah, Betsy Flint, again, with the surgical approach there, going right over the top. Great vision by her.
Kelly Cheng has a great hybrid jump serve. That one's handled, and the poke to the back corner. What makes that serve so effective?
Yeah, I love that you bring it up, because you're starting to see it kind of get developed more and more into the game, both on the women's and the men's side. So by a hybrid serve, you're talking about a ball that's tossed with 2 hands a lot of the times, and it has that float to it, but then she's adding a little bit of topspin to it. So it's a different approach in toss.
Hermosa Beach, California, home of the third stop of the Pro Series of the 2022 AVP Tour, and this is the women's final. Cannon and Sponcil versus Cheng and Flint. Cannon and Sponcil really took care of business in the first set, 21-12, leading here in set number 2 as well. Dane Blanton alongside Cameron Irwin. And we're calling all the action here. The fans so happy, Cameron, to have the AVP back after a 2-year hiatus with COVID and whatnot. We're back in action.
We're back in action here in Hermosa. We got, a couple tournaments on the schedule the last 2 years, but man, is it so nice to be back on the home sands of Hermosa Beach.
Nice dig by Flint. Can she put it away? Not just yet. Therese Cannon with a great dig. Here comes Cheng, finds the perfect spot of the retreating blocker, Cannon.
Yeah, Therese Cannon has done a solid job on the day on some of those digs, pulling off the net, playing them overhead, but this one is a little bit in between, and a nice change of pace there from Kelly Cheng. Gets that kind of indecisive touch from Cannon.
Off the edge of the block.
Bottom line, the big difference is Therese Cannon has been owning the net. Kelly Cheng trying to get her groove going, trying to get a couple blocks and to get that momentum on their side, but hasn't been successful just yet.
Yeah, and a lot of those blocks, you see them, there's 6 total for Therese Cannon. Those came in the beginning in game number 1. She's only had 1 in this set, but it's also the defensive paired with the offense. You saw the last swing there, just beautifully done. She continues to be solid all around.
Well, what it is a little tougher serving going on as well for Sponcil and Cannon. It's getting Cheng and Flint in a little bit of trouble. That ball passed perfectly by Flint, but Sponcil's all over it. Can she convert? Yes, right down the middle, and the lead continues to expand, 12-8.
Sarah Sponcil giving her partner some mad props on that ball. Not only did Sponcil get the dig, but she loved the call that her partner gave. The deep middle available, and she was right to call it.
We're going to take the tech at 9-12. 9-12.
12-9, technical timeout. Welcome back to center court here in Hermosa Beach, the women's final. And it's a good one so far, but it's being dominated by Cannon and Sponcil. Up 12-9 here at the technical timeout. Fans having a blast. So great to be back here. And such an interesting final so far. The big question, can Kelly Cheng and Betsy Flint turn this thing around?
That's the big question, right? And I think one of the things that we're starting to see a little bit more from Cheng and Flint is Betsy Flint trying to assert herself and alleviate the pressure of Kelly Cheng and what she's seeing, whether it's the side out, maybe she options more, maybe she starts to steal more of the middle balls, get rid of some of what she's seeing. And I would love to see some of that kind of shift in the direction of Flint and Cheng. Be interesting as they get set yet again.
And here we go, Will Cannon and Sponcil widen that lead, or Cheng and Flint gonna push it to 3.
A couple blocks would be nice too on the side of Kelly Cheng.
Kelly Cheng with the serve, this time off the top of her block. Seems like she's just there a second late on the majority of blocks. That one's tough because she's serving and has to run to the net, but even on the regular block, she's a hair late.
Blocking such a timing element.
Cheng with the set. And there's the roll shot that Betsy Flint hits 9 out of 10 times. That time not clearing the net, so some uncharacteristic, unforced errors going on right now, and the lead continues to expand. Cannon and Sponcil really on cruise control.
Yeah, they have quite the luxury right now here into game 2 to be able to play freely, which is a dangerous position to have to play against, right? You feel like you've got a little room. You feel like maybe, hey, I can go for this serve a little bit more. I can go for this swing or maybe this angle, and it makes them that much more dangerous.
Betsy Flint with the serve, that ball into the bottom of the net. So trying to put pressure on the other side just is not happening, and as time ticks by, Cheng and Flint really running out of it.
Yeah, honestly, I'm pretty surprised now. 21-12 in set number 1, 15-10. These two I think it's just a little bit rare to see stuff like this happen where it's the pass and set gone awry. I don't think I've seen them pass and set like this since they've even been together.
Yeah, you know, it's been difficult for them even serving the ball in, and some of their shots not happening as well. We'll take a look at the TNNS dig of the day happening right there. Sarah Sponcil completely sacrificing her body. Used to call her the Scorpion because those back legs would kick up as she would land, really almost hyperextending her back. She lays it out.
They talked about, I think earlier today, lumbar flexibility. Like she's just pure Gumby over there, Sarah Sponcil.
Sponcil goes deep middle, ball just out of bounds. And right now you got to just turn on the urgency if you're Cheng and Flint. Nothing to lose, you got to just go for it.
Yeah, without a doubt. You have the freedom now. They go at Sponcil yet again.
Nice set by Cannon. She'll cover and have an opportunity. And that ball's up in the air, but Kelly Cheng turns but cannot get any footing to run that thing down. So 17-11 right now. And what do you think about it, Cameron? When you lose a close one, as Cannon and Sponcil have before, the comeback, the revenge game.
Yeah, and again, you take into account some of the history just in terms of scouting report, right? And I think they have executed very well on that. From the service line to block and defense, it's all showing up. And then the errors, again, starting to pile up even more so now for Cheng and Flint.
Wow, what an up by Sponcil. Tries to hit it middle. Flint knows that game. Sponcil goes over on one, but fools nobody. Another dig with Kelly Cheng finally ends it, going over to the deep corner. But how about the defense, Sarah Sponcil?
I think the only reason Sarah didn't get to that last ball is because she not only lost her hat in the middle of that rally, she lost her sunglasses. She had too much sand in her eyes.
She's everywhere. As we said, she will sacrifice everything to get that ball up in the air. And if you come out with that type of attitude, as she has, it's been complete domination so far. Remember, Sarah Sponcil, Therese Cannon, neither one of them has won an AVP championship. How cool would it be to win in Hermosa for your first one? Roll shot into the net. Not yet, says Cheng and Flint, trying to close the gap.
Cheng and Flint right now have to find something defensively. Flint's been picking up the ball. She's got 13 digs. Sarah Sponcil with 14. How do they transition out? That's going to help.
Trying to create the magic in the back corner on one, just missing the end line.
Man, you saw the willpower of Betsy Flint on full display. She is giving it everything she's got right now to be able to keep her team in this. You gotta love the effort, even though she just misses that one long.
Both defenders really going at it, right?
Without a doubt.
Sponcil sacrificing. Flint, as I mentioned earlier, played together at LMU back in 2015. Now on opposite sides of the net, both spectacular defenders. Here comes Kelly Cheng. Roll shot is just perfect. Kisses the top of the net and was going to be in.
And she still even got a hand on it. Like, this is as sharp as it gets. Literally, it went across the entire length of the net. Beautifully done from Kelly Cheng.
See if that can spark some momentum for Cheng and Flint, who need it right now. They need to get back into this one. They need a block or defensive play and a put away. But right like there, Therese Cannon, her volleyball IQ has grown tremendously, knowing what play to do. We haven't seen her really go over on that second contact with a poke, and she picks an opportune time and executes it perfectly.
Yeah, it's really incredible to have seen what Therese Cannon has done throughout her career. She played volleyball indoor at Georgetown University and then transferred, like you said, to USC to play beach volleyball. And it's just been so fun to see her growth over the last several years. And her volleyball, her beach volleyball IQ continuing to increase.
Sponcil again. Cheng gets a hand on it, but has yet to get the blocks that she's known for, the blocks that we saw in the semifinals. And we switch sides, 20-15. It will be championship point here on center court in Hermosa. Therese Cannon, Sarah Sponcil have never won on the AVP tour, trying to make this their first. Great set by Cheng. Sponcil has it. A swing for the win. Sarah Sponcil, Therese Cannon, champions in Hermosa.
What a way to do it. Sarah Sponcil with an incredible save over the top of her head. And the transition kill earns herself her first title alongside Therese Cannon.
Well, it's a long time coming, right? You make it to the Olympic Games, yet you haven't won on the AVP tour. So you can imagine the emotion, what is going through her head, both for Therese Cannon and Sarah Sponcil, a lifelong dream to be champions on the AVP. It's the Kona Brewing. Cheers to the champions. And there they are, Therese Cannon, Sarah Sponcil. Complete domination here in this final.
Just wild play. It was so fun chatting with them yesterday. They were hanging out in our broadcast booth, and I asked both of them, I said, Sarah, what do you think about this? Like, is this the one? And she goes, it's time, Cameron. It's time. And she was not wrong. It is her time, and it's her time alongside Therese Cannon. Just huge congratulations to those two. They knew this was the one, and they executed on it perfectly.
You know, I think where they got tested was in that semifinal.
Agreed.
When they were up 14-11. And wow, did they step up to close it out. Champions for the first time. You're looking at them, feeling good. Therese Cannon, Sarah Sponcil laid it all on the line to become AVP champs here in Hermosa Beach, their first championship. Welcome back to center court here in Hermosa Beach. The women's champion has been crowned. Therese Cannon and Sarah Sponcil took care of business. Let's head out to Mark Sherman for the winner's interview.
Oh my goodness, from start to finish, wire to wire, Therese and Sarah, y'all were incredible. Hermosa Beach, how we feel about that performance? Are you kidding me? Therese, in your first final,
yeah.
And you couldn't tell, were there any nerves going out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was more nervous this morning, but then once we start playing, it all just
Once we're in the finals, it's fine.
I just needed to get to a final. I had never been one, and
She's like, the hard part's getting there, but once I'm there, I'm in. Sarah Sponcil playing behind the block of Therese Cannon. You had like 5 blocks in the first set. What's it like? What kind of confidence does that give you back there?
I mean, I should have just pulled out a lawn chair and just sat in there, honestly. She was just a rock star the whole time and just aggressive moves, and it made my job so much easier. So thank you, buddy.
You had a lot of support, not only from family, but you've made a lot of fans in the crowd as well. How does that feel to hear those cheers for you guys?
It's awesome. You guys are the best. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much. Keep coming up. Keep coming out to the AVP, please. We need you.
Absolutely. Maybe the stand's a little bit bigger next time. We'll get a little more. Yeah, I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, your champions here in Hermosa Beach, Sarah Sponcil and Therese Cannon. Congrats, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Sarah Sponcil, Therese Cannon, champions. Let's take a look at our Sky Vodka Rally of the Day. Sponcil everywhere. Her hat coming off, her glasses coming off. Full sacrifice defensively in the back court. The rally that wouldn't end. Finally, Kelly Cheng putting that ball down. We have crowned one champion on the women's side, Therese Cannon and Sarah Sponcil. Next up, it's the men. The number 5 seed of Taylor Crabb and Taylor Sander taking on number 2, Theo Brunner and Kane Schulk.